Hey y'all, I'm selling lip glosses and excuse my hair, but if you want your lip blood be popping like mine, holla at me. No, hey, what's going on, guys? By now, you're already aware of the Funimation Crunchyroll merger, right? Well, if you're not, let me dramatize it a little bit for you. Long ago, two rival clans, the Crunchyroll boys and the Funimation fathers, both had equal footing in the anime streaming game. Maybe not quite equal. Regardless, both of them offered streaming services, but they decided to come together to create something for everybody to enjoy, being simul-dubbing Dragon Ball Super, so that Funimation could release the English dub while Crunchyroll could air the Japanese episodes. And this merger was pretty cool. It was an interesting time to see a partnership like this between two titans in the anime industry. Now, speed up some time, and Crunchyroll is purchased by AT&T, which obviously is going to mean some new overlords calling all the shots. I'm pretty sure at one point even Funimation owned Crunchyroll for a moment, but it didn't go over and they released it or whatever. But now Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll. And the news is about a year old, I believe, where Crunchyroll and Funimation were both under the ownership of Sony. People didn't really know what it was going to mean, and even still, were left guessing some things, but it has been revealed that Funimation's entire library will now be brought over to Crunchyroll, and it would seem that they are fading out and getting rid of the Funimation name altogether, and they're going to be running forward with Crunchyroll as the primary company. This does not mean that Crunchyroll purchased Funimation, and I see a lot of people talking about it as if that's the case. Sony owns them both, so they just decided to smush the two together. It's like they went Crunchyroll, Funimation, and then they kiss. So yeah, it's pretty big news because all of this stuff is going to come over into one streaming service, meaning if you haven't already, it might be time to get out of the Funimation streaming game. I could see in the future this creating a pretty big hike in prices, but if they went with something a little bit more middle of the road, that would be the smartest thing. Just think of the slogans. All of your favorite anime, thousands of episodes, all in one place. That may already be one of their slogans. Regardless, what does this mean? Does this mean that Funimation is gone altogether? Not really. I'm sure that a lot of the same people that were working there are going to continue working under this Crunchymation or Funnyroll. Those are good names, right? They're not going to change the name, because for years, Crunchyroll has been going hard in the convention scene and in public relations and really getting the brand out there and boosting it up. I remember back in high school, Crunchyroll first really becoming popular among anime fans. And over the years, I don't remember the site improving very much, and I've been on and off with whether or not I would use it just out of convenience, but now I pretty much don't use any streaming services. I wouldn't use Funimation's either, because personally I've heard that the player is really terrible and it doesn't seem as accessible. That being said though, Crunchyroll's is incredibly glitchy, and I remember ditching Toradora because I started it on Crunchyroll and one of the episodes was either missing or it had crazy graphical glitches to the point where I couldn't watch the episode, so I couldn't continue forward. So thanks for that, I never finished Toradora. Probably not missing much. But is this a good or a bad thing? I don't know, but a lot of people seem to just be summarizing what's happened and going, bye-bye Funimation. No, it's going to be the same thing. Unless we hear that there's going to be a ton of layoffs, I'm pretty sure that the same people will be running the shots. Let's face it, Chris Sabat has essentially been running Funimation for the past 8 years anyway. And through all their ups and downs and the scandals and all the controversy, they've continued to release stuff semi-regularly. But what I do think this will mean for the anime industry is that we're going to get a lot of mediocrity, unfortunately. In the past, 5 to 10 years, I don't think there's been a single dub that I've gone, that was actually pretty good. I'd actually rather watch that over the Japanese dub. I don't think I ever say that anymore. I really do try sometimes to enjoy dubs. I'll turn them on, but more often than not, it's just to kind of laugh at them. So, sorry, the last 5 or 10 years has just been nothing but bad dubs. Which is also going to mean now that if it's all under one big umbrella, being at Crunchyroll, they're going to use the same voice actors for everything, which is essentially what was happening anyway, but even more so now. There's really not many other names in the game as far as actually publishing and making anime in America. Nobody really makes anime in America, but they do localize and distribute it here in America. But the companies that are left, I think, there's Sunrise, there's Sentai Filmworks, Funimation's now gone, technically, And then, I don't know, discotheque? I don't think anybody's really making many new dubs nowadays. And probably for a good reason. But, of course, there will always be a normie audience that does want to watch in English. And every so often, I find it rather nice to be able to watch things in English as well. If I ever watch a classic series that I love, I'm probably going to watch it the way that it was aired on television and the way that I came to love it. So, something like Fooly Cooly, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, anything that I watched on television, I will continue to watch in English. And I can absolutely accept that some of them are really bad dubs, but there's something about them that is charming. And I think it's very lost today, but that's a whole other conversation about voice acting that we're not going to have. What we're talking about is this merger. And my biggest fear is that if they're going to start dubbing series that didn't have a dub before, because now it's all in one thing. So the Crunchyroll people can say to Funimation, hey, since we're working for the same company now, we want you to dub this, this, and this series so that we can put that in the catalog. Series that may not have already had a dub. So that's going to mean good things for people who like to watch dubs, but if they're making them at such a high rate and such a volume that there's so many coming out, you know that that's going to mean bad quality. And that's my biggest fear, because over the years, the money that's been put into Crunchyroll, for as much as it's made, has never meant a better service. Yes, they've made the website look a little bit prettier. I'm pretty sure this player is almost the same as it was 10 years ago. It's just never gotten that much better. Yes, they get exclusives now, they have a nice web shop and all that, but that doesn't mean anything in regards to distributing anime. And I'll say this, for as much as people want to hate Funimation, they did more for anime in the United States and overall the world, making it more popular in the Western world. Because let's face it, if many English-speaking countries can now get to anime easier because it's being dubbed by a company in the United States, then yes, that means that they're doing something to put it out into the wild. Regardless of whether or not you like it, it is making the medium more successful, and therefore bringing more dollars into the companies to then allow them to create more stuff. At the end of the day, it all comes down to money, unfortunately. And Crunchyroll has always kind of seemed to just take the money and do nothing. I don't think they've done anything of value for the anime world. Does that sound weird and corny? I think it does, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you'll see them basically give money to YouTubers to promote their service and stuff like that, but that's just to bring in subscribers, and then the money that they do get is very limited, like, scale for what they're using it on. Like I said, the site's been a nightmare for the longest time. It's ugly, the player sucks, high resolutions were always really wonky in the past, and there's still glitched episodes on the catalog. But that doesn't mean Funimation's the good guy either. One thing I particularly didn't like about Funimation was when you buy a physical Blu-ray, they'll come with a coupon that you can redeem on the Funimation website. Now, more often than not, this would mean that you would get a digital copy that I could download and then put onto my iPad or just keep on my computer or something. Awesome. It doesn't do that for Funimation. What happens is you get this coupon, you go to Funimation's website, when you put it in, it then allows you to redeem the episodes into your Funimation account, so that you can then access them whenever you want, but only from Funimation's proprietary apps or website. That's kind of pointless. It's hard locked, it's like DRM'd essentially to their site. I don't like that. But I do prefer to buy physical anime. I like buying Blu-rays. I have quite a few of my favorite series on Blu-ray. And I more often than not will buy those over paying for a subscription service. I actually don't pay for subscription services. I'm kind of against it. I don't like the subscription model that has become the basic make money 101 business model here in this current day and age. Why does everything want me to subscribe to it? That's another conversation. I'm trying to stay on track here, because I do have some legitimate qualms with this merger, but at the same time, I'm hopeful that it means that series that are from a long time ago that never got a proper HD release will now come out and maybe get a Blu-ray or just get upscaled and put out with some modern features to it. I don't know. Like, it's been really cool in the past year to see something like Hajime no Ippo get a full Blu-ray set, and I now have that, because for the longest time it was only available in potato quality. Previously, Geneon, I'm not sure if you guys remember them, folded over and basically had no one to distribute their stuff anymore. But certain licenses have been picked up, and recently Funimation actually re-released Ergo Proxy onto Blu-ray, which was great because I only owned it on DVD, and all the copies of the digital episodes didn't look so great. But now I have the full thing on Blu-ray, which is awesome. It's a great series too. So hopefully we'll see revivals like that. and something getting a bit more of a modern release, being put on Blu-ray or being upscaled and stuff like that. Now, I know that in the past, Funimation has gotten a lot of heat for the way that they typically modernize and HD upgrade some of their stuff. Look at the Dragon Ball Blu-ray releases, that's been a nightmare, but I can have hope. These companies have been doing this stuff for so long, and for the longest time, it really hasn't changed much. I don't know if it really got much better. You know, you have Crunchyroll holding conventions and throwing the little anime awards and stuff like that, but then stepping on YouTubers who wanted to do anime awards themselves and stuff like that. And I just personally think their company has been really slimy throughout the years. And also, another problem is localizations. Both Funimation and Crunchyroll have had really bad subs, and of course, localizing into dub with Funimation and changing the way things have been said. I don't speak Japanese well, but I understand it enough to when I'm looking at subtitles and hearing the characters speak in Japanese, I've been able to identify many a time where I go, the character did not just say that. Do you guys remember when Brock was eating jelly donuts in Pokemon? Yeah, those were rice balls. Onigiri. I don't really know what the future means, but I hope this doesn't mean them shutting down physical. Because what, are they going to just start rebranding Funimation Blu-rays with a Crunchyroll logo on the side? Are they going to completely make Funimation disappear? That's what some people are reporting. But I don't know. If we see people getting let off and let go, that's going to be sad, because then A, people are losing jobs, and that means, yes, they are shaving the company down into something smaller. If it becomes this big powerhouse of producing anime, that would be wonderful, but that's going to be Sony's call. That's not Funimation nor Crunchyroll's call. That's Sony's call after everything. So we're just going to have to see, but I'm hopeful. I really hope this means that we get some old series that maybe the licenses are floating around, they can nab something like Cromartie High School and give it to me on Blu-ray. Welcome to the NHK, give me that on Blu-ray. I don't even know if these licenses are under Funimation's control. I think ADV and stuff like that. I don't know if those companies are even still around, but all the old dub companies have pretty much folded, so I don't know. There's got to be some future in making English dubbed anime. That's yet to be seen as to how they're going to handle that future. Because normies will always love the convenience of being able to load up something like Crunchyroll and watch something maybe even in English now. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but let's face it, if you don't care about sub quality, then yes, you'll watch on horrible subs, or rather Crunchyroll. Whereas somebody like me will go and download a copy that has a fan sub to it that is a bit more accurate to what's being said. And I'll put that on my TV via a hard drive. I'm not going to pay for something like a streaming service when, if you think about something like Game Pass, you know, for Xbox or PC, where you pay $15, $20 a month to play games unlimited from this huge library. But when you really consider it, if you're going to play something like a big game, you know, Skyrim, Yakuza, something like that, that's going to take a lot of your time. And yes, you could hop between games if you want to be ADHD, and unless you're a NEET, you're only going to have a certain amount of time to play games, and thus you're going to take all that time for that long game and probably only rent that game for that month. So you're paying $15, $20 to rent one game that you're trying to finish, unless you don't play that type of stuff. I feel the same way about streaming. I don't always want to watch stuff, and I don't always want to watch the same stuff like anime. So paying for a streaming service where I'm only going to watch one show, if it takes me a month or whatever to get through it, or 2 months maybe, I could have just bought the Blu-ray for that much. Something like Yu Yu Hakusho was 112 episodes, which took me quite a while to get through. I only watched 2 or 3 episodes a night. So that took me over a month to get through, and guess what? I bought all of it on Blu-ray, and I'm never going to look back. And I also have all those episodes in my Funimation account, which will no longer be worth anything since they're getting rid of Funimation. So are those codes no longer any good? I don't know. So I'm going to stop ranting here because there's so much I could say and so much I have said, and I don't even know if this is that interesting. So hopefully you'll tell me in the comments below what you think about the merger. Do you like the idea of Funnyroll or Crunchymation? It's going to be interesting to see how things go, but I don't know. I already don't trust either of these companies that much, but my alliance is with Funimation to some degree because I grew up with Funimation, and I want them to exist in the capacity that they used to. But that's wishful thinking. So comment below what you think, like the video if you did indeed like it, and I have tons of videos on my channel, so make sure to click something that I'm linking right here. You could watch another video, or you could even use my Hobby Link Japan link to go and buy some figures. You don't pay any extra, I get a little commission, and it helps support the channel. So, thanks again for watching. I'm gonna drink this milk, why don't you guys go watch some anime while you still can on those accounts? And come back and tell me what your favorite series is. See you guys. Peace!